Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery, and I just wanted to say hello. I hope you're having a great start to your week. Um, if you're wondering about the items from the last live where we dug through boxes and shelves and found all this cool kind of one-of-a-kind stuff, I have sorted everything. And I will be sending out invoices probably tonight for that. I finally got everything sorted out. It took me a while because we always sort by first come, first serve. So that always means that sometimes I'll be putting it in someone's bag and then I check the timestamp on the next message and it came first. So then I move it to the other bag. So there's a lot of moving around and kind of moving and shaking that I have to do for those. And so it took me a little while, but we got there. Suzanne's asking about tater tots. You're just really starting out the week well, aren't you, Suzanne? Um, Hello, Lucian. Thank you for tuning in, our friend Levi there. So yeah, finally got everything sorted out, and we will be letting you know what you claimed versus what you got here over the next few hours, I hope. I almost got tater tots today, though, Suzanne. It's the truth. I was coming home from my doctor visit, and which is just a routine checkup. I get them every 6 months because I have thyroid disorder and my anxiety. So I go to the doctor every 6 months just to check in, mainly so I can keep my prescriptions filled because generally I don't have any issues, thankfully. So I was coming home and I said, I want some French fries. I was really hungry for French fries. So I stopped into one of the places that we normally go, and they were completely out of French fries because of the pandemic. But what did they have? Tater tots. I wanted tater tots, but I didn't really want tater tots. I wanted fries, and there is a difference, right? When you're in the mood for one, you're not always in the mood for the other. So I ended up not getting them, and I just passed along. But yes, it sounds good, right? What does sound even better, I think, right now is what I have on order for tonight's dinner. I pre-ordered, if you don't know, Kentucky Fried Chicken, which not a whole fan of, the I'm vegetarian, not a whole fan of the whole chicken thing and the corporate chicken thing. But we have now, they came out with a vegetarian chicken. I'm getting a 12 piece of vegetarian chicken, and I don't know how big they are. They look like they're like this big. I don't know how big they really are, but it's supposed to taste and peel like have the consistency of chicken. We'll see. We'll see. They can't call them vegan, I guess, because the rumor is they're made on the same grills or same rotisseries as regular chicken. So I'm hoping that doesn't make me a little bit sick. They say once you go vegetarian and if you try to have meat again, you can also get very sick, stomach problems and whatnot. So I'm hoping this doesn't happen, but I'm assuming that most Impossible Whoppers are also made on the same machinery that they make regular Whoppers, and I've never had an issue there. So hopefully that's the case. We'll see. So we have the Kentucky Fried Chicken vegetarian chicken nuggets, chicken pieces, morsels. I don't know what they call them. It's a 12 piece. And we didn't know they actually, we saw that they were coming out with them, but we didn't know they actually came out with them. And our friend Abby, you may know her from the Bead Place and the Great Bead Extravaganza, posted it on her timeline. So I think she got them, but I haven't checked with her to see how they tasted. So we're going to taste them tonight. So that's interesting. We'll see how it goes. I hope it's a good meal. I don't know if they're like chicken nuggets, if they're like this size, or if they're going to be like this size, because I ordered, a 12 piece, if it's this size, is not very much. A 12 piece, if it's like this size, is a lot. But I ordered two 12 pieces just in case they were this size. I guess we'll have them for tomorrow if they're the other size. But I have not had Kentucky Fried Chicken in a very long time. Even when I was eating meat, I didn't have it very often. But I definitely am interested to see, and I will. Lucian saying, let us know how they are. I've been excited to try them too, and we will let you know how they are. I know I do love the Impossible Whoppers. It's the Impossible Whoppers, I think, from my memory, taste just like a Whopper. So I'm good with those. Marion says, I don't understand why it's called veggie chicken when it's not chicken. It's veggie chicken. I don't know. There's going to come a time when chicken and this veggie stuff, I think, is going to be almost impossible to tell the difference. I think we're getting there. But a lot of places, because of laws, don't actually call them chicken. And I don't know what KFC actually called it. I'm on my phone, so I can't look, and I don't have my devices with me today. I've been on the road, but I don't know that they actually call them chicken. Sometimes they leave out the I and call it chicken, or chick, or leave out the E, and it's just chicken with an apostrophe. There are ways that most of these companies go around actually calling them meat. It's generally the lay people like us, the general public, that will say veggie chicken. But most of the corporations and most of the other places are very, very conscious about calling it actually chicken or beef. And they may just call it 12-piece Beyond bucket. I can't remember what they call it, but it is partnered with Beyond, the people behind Beyond Burger and Beyond Sausage, and so we'll see how it is. I'm interested. Let's see here. What's everyone else doing out there? Cynthia says that sounds good. It does sound good. We're gonna see what it's like. Marianne has a physical tomorrow, and it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday tomorrow. I won't see you. I'll be out at my other job, so happy birthday today. And physicals generally, hopefully, not a big deal. Hopefully, anyway. Let's see what else is going on. We have some people tuning in. Thank you so much. Sandra said, I tried plant-based chicken nuggets, and they weren't good. Trash can. Some of them are, some of them are not. We eat one from... I'm going to blank on the name now. I can't think of who it is. Quorn, I think. Quorn, I want to say. And they are delightful, but you cannot microwave them. I mean, you can. Don't bother. You have to cook them in the oven. Don't take the shortcut. It's not worth it. But these are made out of mushrooms. They're a mushroom protein, and they may not taste exactly like chicken nuggets, but they in and of themselves are a very delicious snack. So I definitely recommend those if you haven't tried those yet. Cynthia loves Morningstar Farms chick patties. They're tasty and not as greasy as real chicken. Yeah, I really like, being a vegetarian was hard at first, but there's a lot of great stuff coming out, and it's not like the same old choices you used to have. Let's see here. Hello, June. Hello, Sharon. Thank you all for tuning in. We're just chatting today. By Wednesday at this time, I hope to have more found things from the back. So I'm already starting a small collection. I have some Gina Chalfant pieces, Diane Hockey, some Gollum Studios. I have some remnants of Sari Silk. I have some Rudraksha beads. Just I have a good variety of stuff. I have some Czech glass. I have some kind of little bundled kits that we never did anything with. So I'm going to have some good stuff, I think, by Wednesday ready for you all to show you again, kind of in the same way that we did Friday's video. And again, like Friday, I told you I'd give you 1 or 2 days to claim all of that stuff. And I did cut it off after 2 days. So I'm going to do the same thing. So if I do this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it would be probably Friday at midnight is when I would cut that off. So we'll give you until then to make your claims, and then over the weekend I will parse through all of that and check it out. Yeah, so what have you all been up to? I have been up to William Tries Things, and I don't know if you're all following my page. I see a lot of names out there who already are, but I started a page, William Tries Things. You can go to facebook.com/William Tries Things, and you can find it there and join us. We just today started meditation. This is try number 1, I'm calling it, which is meditation. And the idea behind this is that I want people to try things. I was actually talking to my doctor, not the doctor, but I saw a nurse practitioner today. I guess my doctor's office now, it's flipped over. That was a whole thing with my day too. My old doctor retired, and this is the first time I actually saw anybody in the new doctor's office. They shared the same building. So all of his patients got put on the other doctor's list. Thankfully, I didn't have to go searching for a new doctor. Made it very easy for me. And I met the first nurse practitioner out of 3. So there's 3 nurse practitioners and a doctor. And I was telling her about this, and she said she was going to join. And, you know, people say that, but literally I got in my car to leave and she had joined William Tries Things. So that's that was cool. So the idea behind William Tries Things is it came to me because I see so many people out there who are in like our design challenge group. We have, I think, 700 or 800 people in the design challenge group, and I see the same people posting almost all the time. But I know there are other people out there who make things, and I know there are other people in there who buy things from us and make things. But I have to assume, and I have heard feedback sometimes, that people are timid or they're afraid to show because they're beginners, or they are, you know, they're not somebody who really likes to show off their stuff. But the whole point of that group is to build the community and build that camaraderie and have fun making things with your friends. That's what we like to do, have fun making things with our friends. So when I saw that people were having a hard time, I mentally kind of investigated the idea of trying things. And why don't people try things? We're afraid to fail. We're afraid of what other people are going to say. We're afraid of letting ourselves down. So there's all these different reasons that people just don't try things. And so I created this group where William Tries Things. And I'm guilty of that sometimes too, of not wanting to fail or not wanting to have people laugh at me, or, you know, we're not immune to that. No one is immune to that. Well, maybe some lucky people are, but I'm certainly not with the amount of anxiety that I have. So, but I wanted to break out of that, and I wanted to change my own mindset that it's okay to fail, it's okay to try, it's okay to find things that aren't for you, but it's also okay just to have fun with it. And just because something's not for you or something's difficult doesn't mean you shouldn't give it a try, or, you know, you shouldn't be open to trying. So try number 1. I've always wanted to do more meditation. I've done a little bit of meditation in the past. I've taken some classes when I was in college that incorporated meditation. But I do it very irregularly. I do it when I'm kind of like maxed out to the point where it's almost impossible to do. So I wanted to get into a routine of doing meditation. And so that's why I set this up as a 2-week span. So this try number 1 meditation is a 2-week span where we are just going to every day, if you agree to join, if you commit to joining in this project, this event, every day you commit to trying to meditate once. It can be for 10 minutes, which I'm going to start with some of the smaller ones because I know my brain is like, la, 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 la. So it can be for 10 minutes. I'm using the Calm app. I recommend the Calm app to people who aren't sure how to meditate. I've heard that a lot. Meditation, there are a lot of free guiding meditations on YouTube, on podcasts. Like I said, I'm using the Calm app. So there are a lot of places that will show you or walk you through or guide you through meditation if you don't know how to do it. So find whichever one feels good to you. I don't want to, the reason I'm using the Calm app because I like it and I do recommend it, but I'm not making any of these tries. I'm trying to make them where you're not locked into one service, right? Because one service cannot It can sometimes not work. Doesn't always work for everyone. So try to find what you're comfortable doing. I tried to release the idea that we were doing meditation 2 or 3 days before we actually started it. So everybody who wasn't comfortable could read up a little bit on it and check it out. But anyway, you can do it for 10 minutes. You can meditate for 6 hours if you're a meditation pro. The idea is to try to, as I said in my statement today, there are kind of probably 2 to 3 different types of people that are joining along with me. One is people who have never meditated. So this 2-week-long thing will be a try in meditation itself, right? There are people like me who've meditated from time to time, but can't seem to commit to a schedule. So for me, this meditation try number 1 is to actually try to actually do it 14 days in a row, right? And then there are people out there who might be between the two, or might jump on and off, or they think they can go for 30 minutes and then they realize, whoa, I took on too much, I'm going to back off. So they might know a little bit about it and they might do it fairly regularly, but and you may find this in the group. I may do things for my tries that you're a pro at. And if that's the case, I hope you'll join the group. It's different from the page. I call the group the Triers. We're all triers in that group. And I hope you'll go into that group and just encourage the heck out of everyone else if this is something that you genuinely do all the time. And maybe give pointers to people who are looking for advice or don't know where to go, don't know where to start. In a lot of these things that I choose to do in the future, I'm not going to necessarily know where to start or what to do. I will be learning along with you. This is trying. Like I said, I've never meditated for 14 days straight. So I'm trying just like all of you all are. So that's what this is about. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has joined my page, because in 4 days, we're up to 245 people already. And out of those 245 people, I'm guessing most of them are on the page. 117 have joined the group. So that's amazing. And I have to thank you all out there who are sharing this and letting your friends know. I think it's going to be an amazing thing, and I'm really excited. I haven't done my meditation today. I'm going to do mine at night. And that's the thing. This is flexible. If you like it in the morning, do it in the morning. I've already seen some comments throughout the day of people starting it in the morning. I'm going to do mine at night because I want to create a night routine. There's more behind this. There's a reason why I wanted to do this meditation. It's all about creating structure and calmness and a healthy mindset. So I want more structure at night and kind of a getting ready for bed kind of routine. So that's part of mine. So I'm going to start mine at night. So that's that. That's what I've been doing a lot. We've also been at Star Cottage Studio doing a lot of improvements to Star Cottage Studio. Maybe we'll show some of those off soon. I'm not sure what's going on. Andrew had a virtual class that he was taking today, I believe. And so he was over there in the morning, and I'm going to head over there here in the evening to make sure we get the pellet stove filled up and all that. So yeah, Susan says, I like the stillness of the night. I'm very much a stillness of the night kind of person too. But as much as I like the nighttime, I don't know if I talked about this in the other video the other night. I find myself not utilizing my nighttime like I used to. When I was in high school and college, I was a night owl. I did most of my work at night. I didn't. I worked a lot at night, and now I'm still a night person, but I find myself mentally exhausted by a certain period almost every night. And that period's around 11 to 1 a.m. And I just get so exhausted, but I can't sleep because I am a night person. So one of my tries coming up is going to be for those of you who may want to kind of try to transition to be a little bit earlier in your day. I'm going to have a, and I don't know when it's going to come up, but it's going to come up soon, a try to go to bed earlier type of day or type of try. And so that's going to be one that's coming up. because that's something I desperately need to do. And I've, been, half-hearted attempts at doing this. So I'm going to force myself to do this by having right now 245 people follow along and ask me, how's it going to bed earlier and waking up earlier? And it may not be going to bed earlier. It may just be wake up a little earlier in the morning. And I'm not going to set parameters on this, right? That's the whole thing with these tries. I don't want people to feel like they're failing, right? You can't fail at something you're not really that invested in yet, right? That's the way I look at it. So these are a way to try and get me invested in the things that I like to do. Cindy says, it's super hard for me to go to bed early. I hate going to bed. Yeah, me too. I hate going to bed, but then I also hate to get up in the morning, right? So I like sleep, but only after I've started. And after I've woken up, I don't like to go back to sleep. So there's something in there that's just that I hope I can readjust a little bit, because I do realize when I get up early, like that day got up early, I talked to you about, I got pellets. I think that was Friday. I got wood pellets for the stove. I went up to Star Cottage. I started doing some things. I had a lot of energy, right? And I got a lot of stuff done that I would not have gotten done at night. So Marianne goes to bed at 9 and wakes up at 4:30. I'm not so sure you're going to want to wake up any earlier, Marianne. But for those of us who might have a hard time, maybe we can gripe and moan together about having to get up early and see if it makes any type of adjustment. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't want to get up earlier. But I would love to be able to get up earlier and try to get some things done in my day, because I'm finding that running a store, running a business, and just the way that the world is structured, it is not structured for night people. So to run a business and to hopefully run it better, I feel like I need to be awake earlier. And that's really the idea behind this. So that's my goal. That's going to be one of the tries coming up. Journaling is going to be another try that I have planned coming up. Trying to get in the habit of journaling every evening or every morning. And there's going to be more. So if you want to sign up, William Tries Things, facebook.com/William Tries Things, and have fun with us. All right. So let's see. What else is everybody doing? I'm just talking along, talking about, people are talking about nuggets, right? Cynthia said, I like to use tools to help meditate. William knows I love my drums. The sounds are very calming and the vibration feel healing. Yeah, that's awesome. It's great to incorporate whatever makes you feel comfortable. And that's what these are about. Finding out, over the course of 2 weeks, you can try to meditate in multiple different ways. You can do it sitting down. You can do it laying down. You can do it before bed. You can do it waking up in the morning. Really, the idea is to try and find out what works for you. And if at the end of 2 weeks, you're like, that was not working, then maybe it's not for you. But I've seen so many positive ideas on meditation that I think it's worth trying for a lot of people. And that's what these are going to kind of be. What I see and what I read that are kind of worth trying. Let's see, what else is everyone saying? Susan says, I use the time after 9 p.m. for reading and listening to classical or chill out ambient music. Yeah, Susan, you're kind of probably meditating in your own way. And that's great that you're probably doing a form of meditation. But I don't do that. I wish I did that. I wish I blocked off time, and that's what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm trying to get to. Marianne's waking up, and Cynthia's trying to force herself to go to bed. That's about me. I think I went to bed at 3 last night. Luckily, I slept in a little bit today because I knew I had my doctor's appointment. So I knew I wasn't going to get much done before that, because that was a little bit anxiety ridden for me with a new doctor switch over. And so I just slept in, which worked, but I can't count on that all the time. So I definitely am trying to get up a little earlier. Let's see here. Suzanne says, I'd like to wake up a bit earlier. Yeah, see, there are people out there, I think, that, we wish we could, but it's hard to put in the effort, right? It's hard to decide on our own, on our total, just let to our own devices, are we going to do this? Maybe not. But if 245 people are joining you, or if those people are watching you, or if even half of that amount are cheering you on, it might work, right? And if you have somebody to talk to about it, that might actually happen. So that's what we're heading toward. That's what we're heading toward. Let's see here. Diane says, I just read an article, to sleep night. Go to bed early, then wake up at 3-ish, do something, read, journal, go back to second sleep. I've been doing this for years and didn't know it was a real thing. Yeah, second sleep is a real thing. They actually talk about it in some old literature. If you read literature from like the 1800s or so, even probably more modern than that, you can still every once in a while come across second sleep references. And the idea is that you fall asleep for about 4 hours, and then your body automatically wakes up in the middle of the night. You do some things. Sometimes that's when people had a lot of kids. And then you go back to sleep for 4 hours. We don't really structure our days like that. But I think that would work for me, because if I go to bed early right now, if I were just to start going to bed early, which I've tried, if I go to bed at 10:30, for example, which is very early for me, by about 2 or 2:30, sometimes 3, I will be completely wide awake. Completely wide awake. So I could get up and do something, but in the way that we think about things, we should just be going back to sleep, right? That's what society tells us now. So now I try and go back to sleep, and I lay in bed until about 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And then I zonk out again for another 3 hours or so, or 4, and then wake up. And really, I might be a dual sleep person like that, like Diane is. And that may work best for me, but I'm going to try to keep getting up earlier to see what happens at some point. At some point, I'm going to work on that. But yes, second sleep is a thing. 4 hours or so there, do something in between, 4 hours again. Janice says, I used to be a night person, but that changed last year. Now I'm in bed around 10 and up at 6. My body told me I had to do this. See, and that's the thing. I'm starting to feel like, even though like I am a proud night owl, like I love being awake at night. But there's something in me that's starting to tell me I feel like I need to start going to bed earlier. Like I will fall asleep standing up practically some nights, and it's only like 10 or 11 o'clock. And so instead of fighting that, I need to start listening to my body. And my body seems to be wanting to go to bed earlier now and wake up earlier. So I'm going to try and override my brain, which tells me I am a night person, and try and get out of that mentality and just listen to what my body wants me to do. Let's see here. Let's see what's everybody saying, talking to each other here. That's great. I love when you all chat with each other. Cindy says, I've heard about the second sleep. It was a pattern for ages because it was to set a watch over the household. Yep. Always to have one person awake. And that's also what they say, that night people, some people are night people because every tribe way back, every tribe needed people to stay awake and guard the tribe or guard the community at night. So there are people that seem to be natural night people. It's just in today's society, we seem to have less and less of a use for them. And we don't get to do all the fun things that daytime people get to do all the time, right? We're up at night. You can't go to the store at night. You can't, you could go visit your friends at night, but few and far people are awake at night because they have jobs early in the morning, right? So people get together, they do their exercising in the morning, they go shopping in the morning. You can do all this stuff in the morning, but you can't do it in the late night. So that's why starting to transition, that's my idea. I'm sure you get it by now. I've been talking about that same thing. But yeah, there's definitely second sleep. Susan says, I was very good at getting things done when I worked. I knew I had to do them I knew I had to do things and did them. A couple of years ago, I had to retire. Now I don't have a reason to get something done by a certain time. I'm finding this to be very frustrating. And yeah, I think that I can definitely see how that can. As a small business owner, when you have your own business, there are things you need to get done and you need to get things done, but sometimes you can slide a little bit on them. When you don't have another boss telling you, I need this by this date, right? You allow yourself to slide. And so that's what creating this nighttime routine for me will hopefully help me get things organized the night before, get me to bed earlier, wake up in the morning to do certain things that I want to organize or get ready for the day. There's a whole thing going on behind my William Tries things that I have in my head. And hopefully it will help a lot of people. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not a doctor. I always say this. I'm not a doctor. I can't give that kind of advice. But if you think it might help you, it's worth trying because trying is fun. I like trying new things. Susan says reading and music are a meditation for me. My hubs and I belonged to a Zen meditation group for a number of years. He still does a proper meditation twice daily, AM in the morning and late evening for 40 minutes. That's nice. That's what I want to get to, I think. I think once I get through this 2 weeks of doing it at least once a day, I do think that doing it at those two different times for me would be most beneficial. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Janice says, this may be something I should try instead of laying awake trying to go back to sleep. The second sleep thing? Yeah, get up, do something. Sometimes it's best, right? But also sometimes if you're not a meditating person, I've read, I've listened to a lot of people say that meditation before bed knocks them out and they sleep a lot better after they've meditated and kind of cleared their mind of things going on. Let's see. Hello, Donna's joining us. Thank you for tuning in. We're just chatting today. Just checking out. Susie Wyatt, thank you for joining us. Sandra says, yeah, good points. My grandparents always went to bed early and rise early. My grandfather built railroads, so he was up early. Yeah, I bet. That's a very early. My grandfather was in the steel mills, so he was up very early too. But he always arose early. Even in retirement, he would always get up. I would say around 5 or 6 a.m., which I guess is probably not crazy early. He may have been up before that, but that's when he actually came out. And sometimes you'd hear him walking around the house, and he'd get up and have he had like 3 or 4 Oreos a day, and he'd have his coffee, and then he would go and get the paper. And even in retirement, he was out. They had a lot of woods forest area, and he'd go and cut down trees and manage the woods, manage the forest, manage the property, and then he'd come in at some point for a nap. He'd take a daytime nap a lot of days, and then he'd go back out and work in the evenings then again. So yeah, I think some people are naturally early people, but he would be in bed. Sometimes he'd stay up to watch the 11 o'clock news. Sometimes he didn't make it that late. So he definitely liked to be up early and do things in the morning. Susie says, I recently retired and I'm trying to get used to the idea that I don't have to have a schedule. It definitely goes against societal norms. And I think that's the thing too. It's nice to realize you don't have a schedule, right? But as I think I'm just seeing some of Susan's replies, I get angry with myself because I now think of myself as lazy. So I think there's that balance that as you retire, you have to try to find. You don't have a schedule anymore, but you also don't want to feel like you're lazy because you're not doing things. And a lot of that's being kind to yourself and just realizing that we're all doing this in the way that speaks to us, and so. But that's why I thought it was fun to try different things, because at least if you're trying new things, you can't consider yourself lazy, right? Because you're trying new things. You may not be getting done what's on your schedule or what your schedule, but you're trying new things and you're not lazy. You're just, maybe you're tired of that schedule for a little while, right? I get tired of my schedule. It happens. So trying new things, I think, is a good thing. Oh, hello, Stacia. Thank you for joining us. You're not late. We're just chatting. It's just a chat day. Diane says, I have problems getting anything done if my time isn't structured. Yeah, I can be like that. I'm one of those people that you can't throw anything at me like on the moment. I'm very bad at that. I have to kind of mentally prepare for anything that we're going to do. It makes Andrew a little bit crazy because he's like, hey, let's go do this, and let's go to Lowe's and let's buy this, and let's build this today. And I'm like, I didn't know we were going to be building something today, and I don't know that I have the energy for that. And that's my life. That's the way I feel. I think it's partial anxiety. I think maybe I have ADHD. The more I read about it, the more I wonder if I do. But there's definitely something for having a schedule and structuring your time. I would like to structure my time a little better. But anytime I've ever tried to do that and create a schedule, and maybe this is the same for some of you, I go overboard and I like schedule out every single moment, every single day of every single thing I want to do. And then I feel awful because inevitably I am not ever, 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 ever going to do it all. It's just not going to happen. So, I'm hoping that by trying some of these things, I treat myself a little kinder and I try to find some more balance. And that's what I hope for anyone who tries these with me, is that they find some balance or something fun that's new to them or something that's useful and makes their life better. Diane says, oh, I came in today and we found the ring sizer and got my ring size. Nice. You could have taken it home because I know you have Chris who needs to get his size. I wish I'd known you were coming today. I would have just let them know. You could have taken that home. We don't use it every day, that's for sure. But if you want to stop by and grab it so that he doesn't have to stop by later in the week, you can do that too. Susie says, I don't think that I'm lazy. My career took every last ounce of my energy. I couldn't do anything except sleep and go to work. So I'm looking forward to healing. No, my schedule's for now is fine. Maybe I'll have one in the future. Yeah, it's whatever works for you. It's whatever works for you. And trying things, that's why I did this and started that group and page. Trying things is the way you figure things out, right? I think so. I think it's fun to try things. Jenna says, that's me too, William. I have to have a heads up before I do anything. It drives me crazy at times. Yeah, sometimes I really wish I weren't like that, but I am. And if you don't give me at least a day or two in advance, usually 2, so I can just mentally, if you say tomorrow I want to do this and it's 8 p.m., I'm going to be like, you maybe should have told me earlier today. Or so it does drive Andrew crazy because he could just pop up and do anything just about any time. But I'm not like that. I need to know in advance. It's more mentally preparing. Our days are busy as small business owners, as probably a lot of you. I mean, whether you're a small business owner or not, your work schedule makes you busy. And we're lucky that in a lot of ways we can move things around a lot of times. But mentally for me, I can't. It's very difficult. I say I can't. I shouldn't say I can't. Mentally, it's difficult. I hate telling myself I can't, and I hate anyone who tells themselves they can. I don't hate anyone. I hate the idea of anyone telling themselves they can't, because I think we can all do just about everything if we try long enough and work at it. Let's see here. So, yeah. Oh, Donna says she's the same way too. Yeah, that's why the more I talk about this stuff, this is the thing. And this is why I love these Let's Chats too, because, sometimes we feel like we're the only one. And it's true. I was watching a YouTube video yesterday or the day before, and they were talking about how we oftentimes forget, I think it was on YouTube. Anyway, I saw this somewhere. We oftentimes forget that every single person has as much going on to them as you do, right? Like sometimes we look at people and we kind of think we know them, right? You kind of have an idea of what they like and what they're like and the things they do. But what we don't have a clue about is all those things. Like, think of how many times a day you imagine something that hasn't happened, or think of how many times a day you think strange thoughts to yourself that, like, oh my goodness, if anyone ever heard these thoughts, they'd think I was insane. But what we forget is when we see a person in front of us, their world is just as lively and just as chaotic in their brain as ours is. And I don't think we acknowledge that enough. I mean, it really hit me as one of those aha moments when I heard that, because we tend to simplify other people. So it's easy for us, right? It's easy for us to kind of say, this person likes this and they are like this, and this is how I compartmentalize them in my head. But when you really think about it, if you ever entered the brain of someone else, it would be just as vivid and just as creative and just as lively as yours in a different way, I'm sure. So we kind of have to, the more you talk to people, the more you realize this, and the more you realize we're going through a lot of the same things together. And if you just start talking about these things with people, like I started talking about my anxiety, it was something I hid away for a long time. And once I started talking about it, all these people came out and started talking to me about it. And it was amazing. It was an amazing way to acknowledge it, um, to kind of heal from it, and kind of know that I'm not alone in it, because we do get stuck in our own heads and we forget that everyone else could also be stuck in their own heads, right? So that's why when I started playing around with this William Tries idea, it was a while ago. Many of you may remember me starting to mention it. I'd thought about it for months even before I mentioned it here. And it's been a while, but it's been something that the more I thought about it and the more I talked about things, the more I thought it was a worthwhile thing to do. Let's see here. Cynthia says, have you tried doing morning pages from the Artist's Way? You write 3 full pages every morning. It can be anything, things that are on your mind, whatever. It's a way to clear your mental palette before the day begins. I have not. But that is something that in my journaling try, we're going to talk about, how a lot of people journal differently. And some people do it by stream of consciousness, which is kind of what that is talking about. Some people prefer to journal in a more colorful, more like collective way, collects almost like scrapbooking more than journaling. Some people, lots of different ways. Some people are very structured. They like to journal what they're going to do for their day. They like to, journaling is more of a to-do list and an accomplishment list for them. So yeah, it's, we're going to talk about that a little bit in the coming try, and different ways to journal and different things that I've read that people find helpful. Let's see what else is saying here. What else is everyone saying? Jenna says, I actually took a big step today and made an appointment to talk to a professional about my anxiety, which has gotten worse. Congratulations. That's awesome, Janice. That's really awesome. It was hard for me. I was just talking to my primary doctor, my primary physician, and I know him. I've known him for years, but it was still hard to say the words, I think I have an issue with anxiety. Because for a long time, I was just me, right? You feel just like you're just worried a lot. But it came to the point where you start having panic attacks and you can't leave your house because you're afraid it's going to burn down and burn your fur babies in it. Like, these are the thoughts that went through my head every time we would leave the house. I couldn't leave for more than a few hours without just being convinced that something tragic was going to happen to them. And so it was really, really difficult. And I'm glad I got on something before Paolo passed away, because that would have only confirmed. And it was still hard not to think that that wasn't a confirmation that something we did caused that, which I know it wasn't. It's just an unfortunate, very sad thing. But yeah, it can be hard. And even though I was at that point, I still thought, well, you can handle this. You're dealing with this. So it was still hard to bring it up and admit that I had an issue. And so I congratulate you on doing that, because I know how hard it is. And I hope you follow through, and I hope you are able to find some relief in it. Let's see here. Ba-ba-ba. Diane says, I feel like I don't have the time for that. I'm guessing you're saying the 3 pages idea, but I've done something simpler where I kept a notepad aside from the one I make notes on for work, where I could write anything that came up in my brain while I was working, so I could set it aside and deal with it later and wasn't distracting me. Yes, that is a good thing to do too. And I also read, I think I actually shared something else on Facebook the other day, where they talk about how we don't have time for things. And I see that when people say that, and I say it a lot because our days obviously are insane. But if your pet had a severe emergency and had to go to the vet, would you make time? I know Diane would, because I know her and I know her with her pets. And so would we. So there is time, right? We can't always take the same amount of time, but I think it's important that we realize that we need to make time for ourselves. And if that time is sitting in front of a TV and chilling out, good. Take that time. If that time is exercising, take that time. I think it's just something that we have to. Some of us work a lot and we're forced to work a lot, and we turn our hobbies into work, and it's all this stuff now that we're just working a lot. And so I think a lot of us lose the work-life balance. I know I do. And that's what this William Tries is about too. Finding fun things that I can incorporate into my life, hopefully over time. Fun, healthy things, that I can incorporate and try to find some more balance in that, in this whole world of ours in our heads, right? Diane says, morning pages are best for me. Late afternoon is not very creative. It could be, could very well be. Diane said, I recently started therapy for the same reason. Congratulations. It's definitely, I've not done therapy. I'm not anti-therapy. I don't know why, I just haven't. But for me, this kind of thing is more therapy for me. This thing is good, where I talk to you all and have fun talking to you all. And, we explore and talk about things and just sit and kind of enjoy each other's time. I find this very comforting, and I figure out a lot of stuff a lot of times, and I hope it's beneficial to you all as well. And that's where William Tries Things, my page, I think that's part of it. And I can't wait to see what the people who are following and who are in the group have to say, and what they do, and the kind of conversations that come up. Those kind of things make me very, very interested and very happy to have started this. Let's see, Diane says, COVID times have caused a lot of anxiety. Good thing people are open to talk about it. A lot of people are. A lot of people still don't feel comfortable, especially when you live in an area as small as ours. It can still be something that's looked at as your fault, or some kind of stigma that you don't want on you. A lot of people still don't believe anxiety is a thing, or something that you need help with. But I will say it is. I do believe it is. And it's a mental health condition. And if you take care of your body, that means taking care of your brain as well. And so, yes, more and more people are open to talking about it. But especially people out there in very small areas, they don't have the same resources, and they don't have the same knowledge or understanding that it's okay to talk about it. So that's what I'm hoping to reach out to some of those people too, as I say these things in lives on our bead store, on our bead store platform. But I think it's worthwhile. Let's see here. We have some friends from the Ukraine joining us. Hello out there. Thank you for joining in. I hope you're enjoying it. June says, your voice is very comforting to me, and your supportive, loving nature brings me joy. Thank you, June. I really appreciate that. And, I would not be doing any of this if it weren't for you all out there supporting us as well. This William Tries Things is another investment in my time. I have had friends, and probably even Andrew, come wondering why I'm adding more to my schedule. But in the end, while it's adding more to my schedule, I hope it's also adding more joy to my life, because I do like to see the people out there who support us. And I like to, I like to see your input. I like to see what's working for you all. I like to see how we can help one another, create better lives for ourselves and each other. And so I get real joy out of that. So I'm hoping by doing this, while it is a significant time investment, I've only been going 4 days, and it takes a chunk of my day to plan things out and to follow up with conversations. I was working all day yesterday, so I didn't get to talk to anyone in the group. So I have to go back and chat with people, because it's a worthwhile thing to do, and I want to see what people are experiencing. So it's a lot of time, but I'm hoping the end product of it is a better, more enjoyable life for me, for Andrew through me, me being happier, and for our community out there. Diane says, I have the same fear about the fire or something happening when I'm gone. It's actually a little harder now because I'm working from home, so I don't leave as much or for as long. I have to remind myself that the dogs did fine by themselves when I was gone for work for years. That is a big, big thing. Obviously, we didn't always own a store. And when I worked other jobs, I did not worry about leaving my animals at home for 8-10 hours a day. I didn't feel like I was abandoning them. I didn't feel like something was going to happen to them. It became a normal thing. But the more and more we had our store, and the more I was able to be more flexible in our schedules, or knew that Andrew was home all the time, or I was home all the time, it became harder, not only because I would imagine things happening, but also because I felt like they were looking at me like I was abandoning them every day. So it was, and some people will think that's crazy because it's like they're an animal. They're not going to care. But in my mind, I was abandoning them. And I don't know if any of you watch Queer Eye on Netflix, but there is an episode about a woman, and I won't spoil anything, I hope. There's an episode about a woman who has an animal sanctuary. And in her, even though hers is massively scaled compared to mine and our 3 cats, I saw a lot of me in her, in that she was afraid to step away for any amount of time. And so I saw what she was going through. So it was a very interesting episode for me. And anybody going through that, you might want to take a look maybe at that episode. I don't know that it really solved the anxiety issue for her, but they helped. And it's a really good season if you haven't watched it this season. I've been really enjoying it. Janice says it was actually hard to get an appointment to talk to someone. A lot of therapists are busy right now. I was lucky my internist got me a quick appointment. That's great. That's great. Yeah, I think for a lot of the reasons that, like Diane mentioned, COVID has been difficult. We're working from home. We do have pets. We're getting used to being with them all the time, and you do feel like you're abandoning them if you leave for longer, like a real work day. There's all this stuff that starts piling up on us, right? And things we didn't think before, and suddenly we're thinking about that now. Like, am I abandoning them? Should I be around them more? Should I be playing with them more? Should I be doing so? I think it's I understand why therapists are busier now. I get it. And that's why I like talking with you all, because I get things off of my mind and I get to say things, and y'all don't look at me like I'm too crazy. And if you are, I can't see you looking at me like I'm crazy. Let's see. Marianne said it's definitely anxiety. It's definitely a thing. Wow, it's not a major problem for me. I have experienced a panic attack. It was very scary. Yes, panic attacks are no fun. No fun. I collapsed hyperventilating on a floor one time. And it was very difficult to get it back under control. So it can be a different. I've almost had panic attacks in cars, thinking the car was going to careen off of the mountainside. And we live in the mountains out here, not giant mountains. We're the older mountains, so they're more rounded and they're not as tall. but we have a lot of mountain roads, and driving on the mountain roads in any condition other than like sunny days, and even then, sometimes I'd imagine the car just losing control and we'd fly off the side of the mountain, and I'd feel in my head what it would feel like to fly through the air, right? Who normally does that? That's anxiety. That's anxiety. Creating things that aren't there just to scare you, really, just to make you, feel out of control. Oh, let's see here. Lorraine says, my husband cannot believe what I go through in a day from social anxiety and depression. I think he grew up as Peter Pan. Yeah, some people don't understand. Some people can't understand. And thank goodness they can't, right? I would not wish that on someone. It's not a good life. It's not a happy life. It makes you not be yourself for a very long time. You can get trapped in it for a very long time. And I know I did. I was in it longer than probably I even know. But I'm glad nowadays people are talking about it more, and I'm glad that I have found the voice to talk about it. Sandra said, I found my anxiety has so increased and feeling stuck in the house even though I have the vaccine. The numbers are through the roof here, 75K a day. Yeah, it's hard. It is hard. And that's why I want to do more of these videos and more of these social interactions and the group. I wasn't going to create a group for my page. I was just going to do everything on the page because sometimes that confuses people. But I really felt that a group was necessary so that everyone, it's hard to let everyone post on your page because then it gets filled up with stuff. But if everyone can post in the group and talk to each other and write things and say how they're feeling, the group really creates some of that dynamic. And that was another Queer Eye episode. They had a school who was doing their prom, and it was all these kids who their entire senior year was by video. Some of them had just come to the country. Some of them didn't actually really know their classmates. A lot of them lost all their social connections because they didn't ever see each other in real life. So it really made me think about how we kind of talk about it quickly about how we're losing connection with each other, but to the point that we actually don't experience human connection anymore. And so videos and these kind of things help. Social media can help. It's not the same. It's not the same as hanging out with your friends. And I think you can feel that when you get back together with your friends once in a while. You can feel that there's a difference. So it really brought to the forefront of my mind the value of actual interaction. And though this is not the same, I think it's the best that we can do in some of these circumstances. And if you can get people to try things, if you can get people to participate, then hopefully you can make even this kind of interaction better. And so it's no good if only I sit here and talk to people, because you're just passively watching again, right? You're not creating a connection with me. And I'm not really creating a connection with you if you're not responding to me. So that's what I wanted to create with that group. And that's why I created the group instead of just the page. Because a page could tell people what I'm doing and they can play along if they want, but the actual connection comes through the group. Janice said she saw that episode, probably of the animal when I was talking about the animal sanctuary. Diane says, I 100% know these dogs look at me like I'm abandoning them when I leave. They are very dramatic, right? Are they? Or are we just, personifying them and giving them this emotion that we're afraid that they're having? That's, I think, an anxiety thing. We believe that if somebody did that to us, we would be abandoned. So we place that on them. I don't know. I know that generally our cats are fine when we go away. They rest. They feel more rested probably than when we're around all day long. They probably actually are happy that we go sometimes when we do. But yeah, you don't feel like that, right? You don't feel like that. Kelly has panic attacks in my sleep, she says. I wake up hyperventilating. I've heard of that. I have not really had those. Thank goodness. I don't know if you've tried meditating. I don't know if that's something that would work for you. But I've heard that meditation can help some people who do that. Of course, there's no one cure for everybody, but clearing your mind out before you sleep, which is a big thing for me. I sometimes have a hard time getting to sleep. There are nights that I have not slept because I was thinking about things. So it might be something you want to try. Give it a try with me if you're not already. But I do hope you find something that helps you for that. That's awful. I can imagine. Kelly says, I love your chats. I love that you love my chats. I hope you like them. I hope everybody likes them. Kelly's watching that episode right now. Yeah, if that's the animal one, like I don't cry very often, but I'm like blinking so that I don't have tears dripping down my face during that one because it reflected me almost too perfectly in the way I think about things. And I just thought about what she must be going through, taking what I have and boosting it up to 170 animals. I was like crying. Jenna says this season's Queer Eye X series was excellent. I binge watched and watched them all in a day. That's great. That's great. We're watching one or two a night while we work. We're watching a few, and I've really enjoyed them. Sometimes we watch a little more if we're, you can't stop sometimes, right? Did you see the episode of the guy that owned and worked the ranch? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. A lot of people are feeling, I think, anxiety in a lot of these episodes. Cindy says, I feel like interacting with you and Andrew helps me feel less lonely. Being an artist can feel isolating. It can. I'm sure it can. I see it in Andrew. Andrew is happy not to leave the house, but he also does like to communicate. He's good at communicating. Cynthia likes to communicate, I know. But everyone has their own way of doing it, right? We're not necessarily, not any of us, I don't want to speak for anyone, but we're not really outgoing people. Like if we go somewhere, if someone approaches me, I'm fine with that. I will strike up a conversation. I might be intimidated a little bit or a little bit anxious while I see them walking up. Like, what is going on here? But once I start chatting, I'm usually fine. But you will rarely see me walk up to somebody and start a conversation. Just not my thing. So no matter what, you can isolate yourself. And COVID has definitely not made it any better. But I think interacting with people and in real time helps, I think so. Okay, let me see here. Lorraine says your idea of a group is a great idea. Well, thank you. You can go to facebook.com/group/the Triers, TheTriers, the Triers, and you can join that group if you'd like to. Facebook.com/William Tries Things is our page. Remember for groups, Facebook.com/groups/the Triers, and join us if you've not already. We're up to, like I said, about 145 follows, which I found amazing in 4 days. So thank you all out there who have already joined and shared, like I said, with your friends. Susan stepped away for a moment to see the sunset. I'm glad you did, Susan. I'm glad you did. I like that idea. Let's see here. Paul's joining us. Thank you for joining us. We're just about to end here. Because I have to go pick up food. Luke says, you have crazy hair, but not going to lie, it suits you. Yeah, I do have crazy hair today. I have a haircut scheduled for Thursday, I think, finally. It's coming up. But I do like crazy hair. I prefer to have crazy hair. I think it's life's a little bit short to conform to proper haircuts sometimes. But I've always liked crazy hair. Sandra said, I used to journal before bed, slept like a baby. Need to do that again. That's another thing. We're going to talk about journaling in William Tries Things. Definitely going to try it. Diane says, I so enjoy your communication. Your voice is soothing. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad people get something out of this because I definitely do. And I hate to feel like, because that's the anxiety in me, like, am I the only one? Are they just being nice? Like, So I'm glad that people are getting something out of it. So I'm going to call this a Let's Chat end. And I will be popping on probably in my other group in the William Tries Things page and group to follow up with some people tonight and say hi and see how people are doing. I'm going to do my meditation tonight. I'm going to start small, probably 10 minutes or so. You can do whatever you like, however long you want, if you're joining in with me. So, yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope this is a great start to your week. And Andrew will be here tomorrow, most likely with a tutorial, as long as his schedule hasn't changed. We're working on getting our calendars together. You'd think they'd be together already, but that's not always the way it is, right? So we're going to work on getting our calendars together. And I also have a YouTube channel, I should say that, for my page. So William Tries Things over on YouTube as well. I'm going to start doing more talks like this maybe on it. We'll see. I need to get up the follower base, though, on that, because if I'm just talking to myself, if I did this whole thing talking to myself, I would have ended 10 minutes after I started, because I'm not just one of those people that's going to talk to the camera necessarily. I like interaction. So, all right. That's it, I think. So thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. I will see you back here on Wednesday, probably with more store finds of things that we find laying around in the back shelves while we're cleaning. So hopefully you like those. A lot of people claimed a lot of good things, and we'll do that again on Wednesday, all right? So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful week until I see you again, and keep having a wonderful week even after I see you again, all right? See you soon. Bye, everybody.